This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. I am here at the Arborist Alliance. Since 2007, they have provided high-quality tree and shrub service for Denver and the Denver metro area. I am here with Tim Workmeister, who is the owner, certified arborist. Tim, let's start off a little bit about yourself. You've got quite a crew you've put together here in the past over 10 years. Share with me a little bit how this business got started for you.
Well, my neighbor, he was doing trees, and I just kind of fell into it. Was never thinking about doing trees, and one day my neighbor, he needed help, so I went to work for him, helped him out for a while, and ended up taking a liking to it. And just over time, just learned the industry, and decided I wanted to become an arborist, and went from there. So and here I am.
Here I am. So kind of you fell into the passion. You kind of fell into it, found it was something you enjoy doing. Let's start off first of all let's define what an arborist is for the viewers out there. Many people probably don't know what an arborist is. I mean, the simple definition is a tree surgeon. Does that kind of cover a little bit of what you do?
Kinda. So certainly we do tree surgeries. An arborist is someone who specializes in tree care. Okay. And that entails everything from planting trees to pruning, installing cabling and bracing in trees, also managing trees during construction, and also there's a healthcare aspect too. So, and that includes nutritional feeding of trees, spraying, injecting trees.
Quite a bit. Everything to do really with the trees, the shrubs that a lot of us take for granted when we look around and look at the landscape. I mean, many of us have heard of Arbor Day before. I mean, it's one day that is kind of focused on planting of trees. For you, this is a job that takes place pretty much year round. Is that right? Regardless of the season.
Pretty much. We try to stay busy year round. Sometimes the weather gets in the way, and people, they generally don't think about having their trees pruned or trimmed during the winter, but during the winter is a great time to prune and trim trees, especially for special cases like if trees are diseased, or structure pruning, because we need to see the actual structure of the tree. So typically during the winter we can do a better job pruning trees.
Trees, first of all, I couldn't figure out where they got the word arbor from, but I realize now that it's a Latin word really that means tree. Let's start off with some of the trees that your team really has to be experienced in many different types of trees. Is that pretty true for here in Colorado? Do you guys experience quite a few of them?
Yeah, so there's quite a few trees that we have to be familiar with. There's probably not as many as you think, but I mean, certainly we're not like Florida, so they have quite a few species there. But there's probably, I would say, maybe 40 or 50 different trees that we need to be familiar with, and generally, there's some general rule of thumb, a general procedures, that we follow when we prune trees, and that includes, removing dead, there's crossing, interfering limbs, and then of course generally reducing weight throughout the canopies of trees. But other than that, other trees that may be prone to certain types of diseases and stuff, yes, we have to be conscientious about those, and then also if there's a particular tolerance a tree can tolerate as well, we need to make sure that we're educated in that.
So let me ask you this. Somebody out there who is putting in some landscape, they want to put in some new trees. Is it important that they plant the tree correctly in the first place? I mean, I know, to me, an amateur can make anything look good for a few days, but really a professional is somebody who makes sure it's done right on the front end so that, the tree is around for years of enjoyment.
Yes, absolutely. It's critical that initially putting a tree in, installing a tree, is detrimental to the tree's health. If that's done correctly, the chances of that tree succeeding and becoming healthy is greatly increased. If it's not put in correctly, unfortunately, we're going to see problems in the future, and we see that quite frequently. And once a tree becomes established, it's difficult to correct those issues. So it's very critical that the tree is installed correctly initially. So
always better if you do it right the first time, they say, correct. If someone out there is putting some trees in, some shrubs, are you able to help them choose what type of trees, what type of shrubs, basically to get a good vegetation mix?
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of my training, being an arborist, is selecting the right plant for the correct site. Sometimes, I guess the most important thing, selecting the correct plant species is water requirements. Want to make sure that we're putting like plants with like plants. So concerning water needs, because you don't want to overwater one plant and then underwater another plant. So, and then of course there's other things to consider, like power lines. Certainly you don't want to plant a large tree, or a tree that's going to grow large too close to a structure or building. And then also, we got to factor in, diseases and things like that. So is this tree tolerant to certain conditions? So,
obviously, it's best if we call on a professional when we're going to plant a tree or put in a new shrub. But I would say just as important is tree removal or even stump removal. Is that a service you provide as well?
Yes, we do provide tree and stump removal. Our goal is to preserve trees if we can, but we understand that sometimes they have to be removed. And we can definitely remove trees in a safe manner. So,
one of the things, as far as the upkeep goes, I know in my own home I've got some beautiful trees outside. I've got some shrubs. Not only do I know how to prune those trees, but is it important to know when to prune them to kind of give them the best growth life?
Yes, that's important too. When to prune shrubs. And part of the reason is because of the flowering. If you want flowers, then you have to prune those shrubs or trees at the correct time. And so depending on the species, that's going to be vital. So,
obviously pruning does wonders for curb appeal of any house, great for aesthetics, but this is more than just aesthetics. This is really the health of a tree. Quite honestly, this is an investment. When people put out trees in their front yard or in their landscape, this is a great way to kind of make sure you're protecting that investment. Is that important to you when you're out there kind of doing assessment of somebody's land?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to make sure that, we're preserving people's landscapes, and we definitely want to make sure that we're, we're helping them, keep their plants in good. And also, Gary, I just wanted to elaborate on our core values. First, integrity. I feel like every company should have that. If we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it. And we're not gonna cheat our customers. We're going to be honest about everything. The price. We're not going to sell them on something they don't need. Next is commitment. Once we have you as our client, we're committed to you. We're committed to the long-term success of your trees. So whenever you need us out there, we're going to be there. and that's indefinitely, as long as you'll have us as your tree service and your expert. So.
I see a lot of testimonials out there on the website of people that have used your service before. Probably kind of nice for you to read some of those testimonials and realize people have basically used you for more than one job. And obviously, referrals are the way that you've built a company over a decade. Is that kind of nice to read something like that for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So our reviews, we're really proud of those and really honored to have those reviews. I mean, we take that very serious to really take care of our customers and just make sure that we're providing them with the absolute best service we can provide them with.
When you go out and do an assessment on somebody, what are you looking for most of the time? I mean, are you actually looking for disease that can be present? Are you looking for maybe insect issues? Are these some of the things that you're able to report back to the client?
Yeah. So initially, when we make, we call it an evaluation. So when we go out to do an evaluation, we're looking for insects, diseases. But more so, we're looking for primary issues, because the insects and diseases, those are more secondary. Okay. And the reason being, I would say probably 85% of insect and disease issues, those can be traced back to non-biological issues. So we're looking for things like girdling roots, trees that are drought stressed, or maybe they were just over pruned, or there could be construction damage, things like that. So we want to try to kind of remedy those issues first before we start the treatment for insect and diseases.
So more important are those primary issues that you're really keeping your eye out for. Everyone probably knows that plants need nutrients. I imagine trees need nutrients as well. Here in Colorado, does the soil here give them enough nutrients, or is that something that needs to be supplemented?
Good question. So here in Colorado, our soils are typically undernourished, and they do not have enough nutrients for our trees. So we recommend a nutritional feeding, and that basically assures that the trees will get adequate nutrition and flourish and extend their lives. So we've done soil tests before, and almost every soil test we've done, they've come back at least limited with nitrogen. The nitrogen was definitely, the nitrogen levels were definitely under where they should have been. So, and we find other nutrients that are deficient as well. So.
You have built a successful business here. You've handpicked a team that is out there helping folks. Really, the core values that you've always looked at are integrity, quality, commitment, innovation, and obviously expertise. As you move into the future, do you still enjoy doing this type of work for folks, and that gave you the passion on the front end to start in this professionally?
Absolutely. This is my calling. I love trees. This is what I'm good at. And, I want to continue doing this as long as I can and just give people the absolute best service we possibly can. Quality, we're not going to shortcut anything. We're going to do things right, and we're going to take the time to provide our customers with the best quality we possibly can give them. Next is innovation. Basically, that mainly pertains to our healthcare, but we're going to stay on top of the latest stuff. We're going to provide our customers with the cutting edge, procedures and technology that's out there. Basically, concerning the trees, I feel like we have some of the best treatments for trees. We stay on top of the latest, and I've looked at other researched other companies, and we're one of few companies that offer some of these treatments. So there's a ton of tree companies out there. A lot of people, they can cut trees, but can they do prune the trees correctly, and are they knowledgeable about the health of trees? There's a lot of companies that also do healthcare, provide healthcare for trees. But can they diagnose trees, and do they have the latest and best treatments for these trees? I believe we're one of a few companies that can provide both excellent pruning and trimming of trees, and then also provide excellent healthcare for trees as well, and also diagnose trees.
So you guys not only are the tree surgeons, you guys are the tree doctors, basically taking care of the tree, not just going out cutting them. You've got a company that basically has been here for many years, and like you say, hopefully we'll be able to serve the people into the future.
Well, yeah, we're definitely, I'd like to say that we're a complete tree care company. So everything from planting trees to pruning and providing health care for trees to preserve them. That's what we do.
That is excellent. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. On the website, basically, you're going to find all the different services that this company provides out there, be it if you're putting in a brand new tree or maybe some new shrubs, or possibly if you even need to remove one, they can come out and find out if that's necessary to do. Maybe you have a tree out there that needs to be revived, brought back to life. That's a possibility. But basically, this is a service that is provided for you right here in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Again, that is the Arborist Alliance Complete Tree Service. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.